This video is going to walk you through some places on the Time and Date website that are going to be helpful, that are going to be places that you need to go to on a fairly regular basis and access. So, for instance, what if I asked you to figure out the sunrise, sunset times, that kind of thing for today? Well, first of all, I'm asking you about something to do with the sun. So we're gonna go to sun and moon. And then I'm asking about like sunrise and sunset. So that's going to be under sun calculator. So click that. Then this is really important. The next thing is you can type in Lexington, but I really don't want you to do that because if you don't pick the right Lexington, you'll wind up somewhere else. So suggestions. We're going to use Austin because it's close enough, okay? And the difference between what's happening in Austin and the difference between what's happening in Lexington is extremely small. So whenever you wind up here, Austin's good enough, click Austin, okay? Now, it gives you this set of information. It tells you you're in Austin, Texas, USA, and it's going to give you the sunrise, sunset, day length, all of that for August. So right away, you have, it's daylight right now. Sunrise was at 6:58. Sunset tonight will be at 8:11. Today, the day I'm making this recording, is August 16th, 2023. The current time right now while I'm making the recording is 4:46. Okay, back over here. Right now, the day's length is 13 hours and 13 minutes. Okay, that's going to change over the course of the year. Okay, some other things that we are told right here at the beginning. The sun's direction. So like which direction would you need to be facing if you wanted to be facing directly towards the sun? You would be needing to be at about 260 degrees, which is not quite due west, but it's close. Let me stop and explain this for just a second. Okay, here we have our traditional compass rose, which is just a little thing that has all of our possible directions. You're most familiar with north, east, south, and west. But what if things aren't perfectly north or east or south or west? We have some kind of subdivisions, okay? Halfway between north and east is northeast. Halfway between east and south is southeast. Halfway between south and west is southwest. Halfway between west and north is northwest, etc. Halfway between northeast and north is north-northeast, etc. East-northeast, it's more east than northeast. East-southeast, it's closer to east than it is, it's between east and southeast. This one, south-southeast, it's between south and southeast, etc. Okay? But the other thing I want you to know is that if I go from north and I go around, I'm going around all the way in a circle. And you should know from math class that a circle is 360 degrees. So if you get a direction like we just saw, you need to understand what those degrees mean. So 0 degrees is going to be our north. If I turn a quarter turn, I'm east. So that's 90 degrees. That's a right angle. That's nothing new. It's just, oh, I didn't know that east was also 90 degrees. Well, it is. Okay, go another 90 degrees, and south is a heading of 180 degrees. Go another 90 degrees. West is a heading of 270 degrees. Okay? And then halfway between 270 and north again, which is 0 or 360, we wouldn't say 360, would be northwest, which is like, I don't know, I think it's like 315 degrees. Okay? So the degrees that they give you kind of give you an idea of what direction you're facing. If it's close to 90 degrees, they're talking about east. If it's close to 180, they're talking about south, etc. Okay? Okay. So that hopefully, explains this. The sun's direction is a little bit over 260 degrees, and that's pretty close to west, okay? So west, absolutely perfectly due west is 270. So 260 is probably like down here somewhere, okay? It's pretty close. Now, let's talk about this next degree because that is not the same thing. The sun's altitude refers to how high off of the horizon did the sun rise, okay? The horizon is going to be 0 degrees. So if the sun is at the horizon, its altitude is 0. The sun can't get any higher than directly overhead, and directly overhead is 90 degrees. So the sun's altitude, how high it is off of the horizon, will always be a number between 0 and 90 as long as the sun is up in the sky. Okay. Then we have the sun's distance from Earth, and this number does vary a little bit. Okay. Then it tells you when's the date of the next equinox. Equinox would be like the first day of fall or the first day of spring. What time did the sun rise? At 6:58, just like it said over here. And what direction did the sun rise? It rose in the east. It wasn't perfectly due east, notice, because it only said 74 degrees. So it was a little bit north of east, but there was the direction for the sunrise. Your sunset will be at 8:11, just like it said over here. And it won't be perfectly west. It'll be a little bit north of west at 286 degrees. But generally speaking, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay. Now, let's scroll down a little bit further. Okay, this just kind of gives you a graphical idea. If 0 is down here, all the way up at the very top is 24. This is the number of hours in a day. You know, the Earth takes 24 hours to rotate once on its axis. And graphically, you can change the date down here. But for instance, for this date, it gives you an idea of how much of that 24 hours is in darkness, nighttime, how much of that 24 hours is in daytime, which is the light blue. Okay. And then these little shades are phases of twilight. You don't really need to know that too much. Okay. But notice down here, it takes this and turns it graphically. Oops. So unlock that. Unlock. Okay. And so now notice this bar changes based on the date that I pick. Okay. Oops, I keep locking it. In June, about June the 22nd or so, we have some of our longest days of the year. And whoa, way over here in December, we have some of our shortest days. Okay. All right. So that's all that's doing. And again, the different little shading is different types of twilight. Twilight is that time either before the sun rises or after the sun sets where it's not quite dark. So it's not full daylight, but it's not dark yet either. That's twilight. Okay, so down here now, this is the whole entire graphical situation for the entire month of August 2023. Notice you can change the month. You can also change the year. And here's all of the concise information for that particular day. So for instance, if I want to know what was going on the 1st of August, the sun rose at 6:49 at this heading, or it was a little bit north of east. It set at this time, and it was a little bit north of west when it set. Your day length was 13 hours and 35 minutes and 17 seconds. It was a little bit shorter by a minute and 20 seconds from the day before. That's what this means. And then all of these twilight things, that's nice and everything, but you can kind of skip that, okay? Solar noon. What is solar noon? Solar noon is like, when is the sun highest in the sky? It's not actually at 12 o'clock noon, but we call it solar noon because that's when the sun's highest, okay? So it's at 1:37. Here's the direction. Sorry, that was, excuse me, that's not the direction, that's the solar altitude. And then this is how far the sun is from the Earth on August 1st. Okay, so down here, let's talk about this lovely little graphic. Okay, notice way over here, I can play with the little sun, drag it, and it changes the time. It changes the solar altitude. Remember, solar altitude goes from 0 at the horizon to 90 when it's directly overhead. It changes the heading, like which direction would you need to face in order to see the sun, and it tells you whether it's day or night. So let's play that. Okay, so right here, boom. If I hover right there, it's going to show me that the sun rose at about 6:49 a.m. and it tells me exactly right there. Okay, the sun is highest in the sky or at its meridian at 1:37. And you would have to face 180 degrees. You'd have to be facing south to be facing the sun at 1:37. And then it sets at 8:24, and it's in a west-northwest direction at 2:91. Okay? And I can do that for any day. Okay? I can go down here for August 10th. Click on August 10th. Here's the sunrise and sunset length. It's a little bit shorter than the day before because the days are gradually getting shorter. Solar noon, when the sun's highest in the sky, is at 1:36 p.m. Here's how far it is from the sun. The Earth is from the sun. Solar noon, altitude, which way do you have to face to see the sun, that kind of thing. Okay, so you can do that for any date. If I don't want September, I can do, if I don't want August, I can do a different month. Let's go to March. March is come and gone, but we can do March. Okay. So this is for March. Oops, it did not do. Oh, I didn't actually pick something. Okay, so March 2023, go. This is always, okay, sorry. This is always going to be the current date. I'd have to go down here to get my March stuff. Here's my March table. Okay. Okay, if I wanted to look at the 25th of March. Here's your sunrise, sunset, day length. The day is getting longer by 1 minute and 50 seconds every day. All your twilight times, solar noon, like when is the sun highest in the sky? How high is it? It's 61.7 degrees off the horizon. And now it's a little bit closer to the sun, 92.699 million miles from the Earth to the sun, that kind of thing. Okay. All right, so that's just a little bit of hint and walkthrough for finding times related to what the sun's doing. And we're going to find some times related to what the moon's doing as well.